Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon. So we did start off with clouds this morning, and then they eventually started to burn off. We got a little more sunshine here during the afternoon. It was warmer than what we started off with, but definitely much cooler than the past few days as highs started to fall back closer to those averages. Some clouds around here as we head into the night, and for the next few days, rain chances are going to start to enter the picture with the key day being on Friday. Let's get into it. You can see, looking over this way towards Wishka, check out the skies that are featuring a lot of clouds, but the last few frames, you can see those clouds beginning to break apart and some actually fairly clear blue skies popping up there for us in Wishka. We're actually west of where the wildfire smoke is, over there closer to Mason County. And what we expect is, well, we're going to continue to see some pretty good and clean air as we head over the next few days there. I wanted to start off with the smoke, and you can see that a lot of it continues to drape itself across Mason County, the Kitsap Peninsula, and parts of Puget Sound. We have that generally up across the higher parts of the atmosphere as we head on into Thursday. Still some around. There's also a fire up around Vancouver Island. That's helping to produce a lot more of the smoke that you see up near the Canadian border. Here we are tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Pretty widespread, very little in terms of impact to air quality. And then once we head on into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, check out how a lot of that starts to work its way out of the region. Still getting a good amount of smoke off of our fire there closer to Lake Cushman. But then by the time we head into Friday morning, a lot of that disappearing too, and guess what? Rain will be around at that point, and that should help us out tremendously with trying to quench some of the fires there. Now, as far as what our air quality is looking like now and what we're expecting, pretty good. Again, if you're around the immediate area where the fire is, that's going to be a bit more of an issue for you, but outside of there, things are looking to be pretty nice for us. And highs today fell back down into the upper 70s, 79 in Bremerton, 78 in Tacoma, 79 in Olympia, 60s out towards the coast. So much closer to average today and about a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. All right, so here's a look at your forecast. We continue the cooling trend. We go down to the low 70s by Thursday. Some showers possible late into the day on Thursday. Better chances arriving as you head into Friday, and we'll see some heavier pockets at times too. Saturday, maybe even Sunday, still featuring some showers around the area before we start to turn more partly cloudy and see some mix of areas of sunshine and clouds, and temperatures holding pretty steady around more of those mid 70s and lows falling back down into more of those low to mid 50s. Up this way around Seattle, you can see some of the clouds that are across the sky for us. You can see also a little smoke haze in the sky to go along with that as we sit at 74 degrees. And noticing that southwest wind coming in at 11 miles per hour. We're going to drop tonight generally down into more the upper 50s. Some low 60s could still be possible depending on where we have some of the thicker cloud coverage remaining across the area. Your current temperatures, this is as of about 7 o'clock here into your Wednesday evening. Plenty of low to mid 70s across Puget Sound, and then outside of there we have lower 70s up around Bellingham, and then a lot of 60s too over the Kitsap, or more of over the Olympic Peninsula. All right, so radar will continue to keep us pretty quiet here for the evening. Shower activity not here quite yet. That's still going to be on the way with that system that you see there in the Gulf of Alaska. It's heading our way, but it is going to take its time before it does so. So we still got another 24 hours, but once this starts to dive farther south, expect things to start to ramp up with some of our rain, and we're going to start to pull in quite a bit of moisture off of the Pacific. We do have an alert out. We still have this air quality alert out for parts of Mason County because of the poor air quality, due in part because of the fire there closer to Lake Cushman. That's what we call the Bear Gulch fire. So keep that in mind, and it could be maybe even reduce that air quality to unhealthy levels, especially for sensitive groups. You want to be very mindful of that. Here's Futurecast. Here as we head into the night, maybe a sprinkle or two, patchy area mist up this way around Snohomish County. It's really hard to see, but it's going to be right around that defined area right there. Really haven't seen a whole lot develop throughout the day. If it is going to occur, though, just keep an eye out for it. Don't be surprised. Will be a few sprinkles out there. Shouldn't be much of an issue. Very low impact if we see anything at all. We continue on into tomorrow, 10 o'clock. A lot of clouds out there. Some areas of sunshine, though, and pretty much a dry day until we head into the latter part of the afternoon. This is when we start to see some of those showers arriving out along the coast. This is 3 to 4 o'clock. Now, we continue this on. You head into more of your late Thursday night. This is 8 o'clock. Starting to see some of those showers arriving across western Washington. And this is just the beginning because we keep it going. You see some yellows on there? That indicates some moderate to steadier rainfall, which will be probably heavy at times. Then you continue on here into Friday morning at 6 o'clock. Still a lot more of that on the way for us at that point. And then we get the heaviest batch to start to come through, as it looks like late morning Friday, heading into more the first and middle part of your Friday afternoon. This is going to help to put down the majority of our rain. We'll see that move off to the east, so Friday evening we'll start to taper it off back to more off and on shower activity. And then things really starting to taper off as we head throughout Saturday, but still noticing some showers in the forecast even at that point. Let's talk about rainfall totals with this here so far. Now, this is going to extend all the way out to Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, so we're past the big band of rain at this point. And you can see a lot of areas around Puget Sound getting closer to a half an inch, maybe an inch of rain. This is still a day or so out, so some of these numbers could change a little bit, but we've been seeing some pretty steady consistency with some of these numbers. So high confidence, at least more than a half an inch with a lot of these numbers here around Puget Sound. And then if you're outside of there, the higher terrain, getting up closer to Mount Vernon, an inch, if not more, getting over towards the Olympic Peninsula, an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches along the coast. Higher terrain there, getting closer to about maybe 3 inches, and closer to the immediate area where we have that fire, closer to Lake Cushman, we could be looking at an inch plus of rain, so that would be extremely, extremely beneficial for firefighting efforts there. And we will try our best to put out as much of the fire as we can with that and to dampen a lot of the soil and the vegetation. So your forecast over the next 3 days, expect to see shower chances in them each and every day, with the wettest day being on Friday as temperatures fall back down more so into the 60s for those afternoon highs. And while we're talking about the cooler numbers, here it is. Right here you can see average highs are at 78. So we're going to see all of these numbers here next 5-day stretch stay cooler than normal. Then we continue on next 6 to 10-day stretch, and that's where you can see a lot of 70s still popping up. Now, the average is at 78, so we'll be maybe just a degree or two shy on the 19th, 20th, and heading into the 21st, but then maybe some 80s back around for us heading on into the 22nd and the 23rd. All right, here's your forecast tonight. Lows will drop down. A lot more of those 50s popping up, even low 50s up this way around Clallam County, Port Angeles, down to 52 degrees, 58 in Bellingham, and 55 in Olympia. Then your forecast tomorrow looks like we'll be back around more the upper 60s for Blaine and Orcas Island, Bellingham at 68, and Anacortes getting up to 66 degrees. Farther south around Arlington, 73, 64 in Oak Harbor. We top off at 69 in Coopville, mid-70s around Monroe. We'll get up to around the mid-70s also in Issaquah. Des Moines, 75 degrees for you too. Paulsville, 73, 76 in Auburn. Highs in the mid to upper 70s for Puyallup and in Belfair. Tenino up to 74. Farther south along I-5, seeing more mid-70s down across those parts, with 60s out towards the coast and up this way around the Olympic Peninsula, with possibly even some 50s around, such as Lake Crescent getting up only to 59 degrees. Neah Bay hitting 61 over towards the east there, closer to Lake Cushman, getting up to 72, with most of that rain coming closer to the overnight hours as we get closer to sunset and on into the overnight hours into early Friday. Here's your forecast. Next 7 days does show a lot of the 70s sticking around for us. And the day that, or at least the days that we'll be really keeping an eye out for, will be Thursday evening, Thursday night, into Friday, and Saturday for the rain that will be coming through into that time. Pretty late, or I guess early in the season now, or I guess kind of late in the season for a rain chance like this to be around for us. But it is going to be very welcomed, and it will be a pretty good rain producer as it makes its way on through. So if you don't have the rain gear, make sure to have it ready here for the end of the week. Okay, everyone, if you have any plans, make sure to also plan accordingly for that too. You might need to alter some of your ideas. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon.